This recipe is tikka paste, and we're actually going to make it from start to finish in the Thermomix, and it will be absolutely amazing. It's a great recipe to do to have as a store cupboard standby, actually a store in the fridge standby, because you can do all sorts of things with it, and I'll tell you about some of those things as we go along. What we're going to do is start off the tikka paste by putting in our spices. And we're going to weigh in 40 grams of cumin and 40 grams of coriander seeds and 10 grams of dried red chili peppers. We're just going to set this for 5 minutes at varoma temperature, and varoma temperature is the highest setting on the Thermomix, and we're going to set it for 5 minutes at spoon or speed 1. Just so those spices are stirred round nicely as the heat is applied to them. That will help all of those aromatic oils be released and refreshed, and when we grind the spices after this, they will be absolutely amazingly fragrant and really delicious in the finished paste. And here it is. Oh, it smells fantastic. It doesn't look all that much different, but it is, I can assure you. And all of the flavors will be released now, and we'll just grind that up for a minute at speed 9. And there it is, all ground. And you can see that smoke that's been coming up. That's the actual steamy smokiness of the spices as they grind. Now we'll add 100 grams of garlic. And we'll add 100 grams of ginger. And we'll just add 50 grams of coriander as well. That's the fresh coriander leaves and stems. If you happen to have roots attached to it, stick that in as well because it's really delicious. And we're just going to add some oil as well, 220 grams of oil, and then we'll blend this. And on goes the lid, and 1 minute, speed 10. So now we've got our blended paste, and we're going to add 100 grams of water, and 100 grams of lemon juice. Homemade pastes and sauces in the Thermomix will save you a fortune. And one of the fantastic benefits is you know exactly what's gone into them. And we'll add 140 grams of tomato puree, 50 grams of dried onions or dehydrated onions, depends on what the shop calls them, and a heaped tablespoon of turmeric, ground turmeric, and 30 grams of sea salt. So we'll just put the lid on this and blend it and cook it at the same time by setting it for 40 minutes at 100 degrees on speed 2. And at the end we'll have a perfect tikka paste. So the tikka paste is probably almost cooked now. What we'll be looking for is a lovely sheen of red oil on the top, and that always tells you when a curry sauce is cooked. So let's look and see what we've got. Yep, it's just starting to form nicely, and you can see that bubbling away beautifully, and you can see that red sheen of oil just starting to form on the top. So what I'm going to do is just decant it into a couple of jars. So there you have it, 2 jars of beautiful tikka paste. I've put them into sterilized jars, sterilized lids to cover them. You'll have them for lots of different recipes, and you'll have lots of delicious meals from that. Really wonderful. The full recipe and many, many others are in our recipe book, Fast and Easy Indian Cooking. If you often get home late from work, you probably don't feel like cooking. And if you have an easy solution in your kitchen to fast and easy cooking, the Thermomix actually can fit that bill. What we're going to do right now is steam some Basmati rice in the internal steaming basket. And above that, using the Varoma steamer, we're actually going to steam some salmon and some green beans. So the first thing I'm going to do is pour in a litre of water. So that's just water up to the 1 litre mark in the Thermomix bowl. And I'll put in the steaming basket, press the weighing scales to 0 and pour in the rice. Rice is really easy to make. You can make it for anywhere between 1 and 10 people in the Thermomix in this basket, and weigh in about 40 to 50 grams per person. And I'm going to do 300 grams of rice and a teaspoon of sea salt on top. If you wanted to add anything else in at this point, a strip of lemon rind, a couple of teaspoons of cumin, anything like that to fragrance and flavor the rice, you're very welcome to do that at this point. And I'm just going to put the lid on and just wash the rice with the water in the bowl already for about 10 seconds. And the next step is to set the rice cooking. And I'll show you how you would do it if you were cooking it without the Varoma on top. And then I'll explain putting the Varoma on. And we're just going to set this for 20 minutes. Select the Varoma temperature, which gives you a good fast rolling boil and steams that rice perfectly. And we're going to turn this to speed 2. The Varoma is a 3 litre steamer that sits on top of your Thermomix. So it's a good big container here with holes in the bottom, makes a fantastic colander if you need to rinse anything quickly. And in here I've got 4 pieces of salmon fillet. What I'm going to do first though is just put some of the Tikka paste that we already made on top. This will tenderize the salmon and add a fantastic flavor to it. About a couple of teaspoons to a tablespoon per piece. And this will just add fabulous flavor. Steamed fish and chicken, actually steamed pork fillet, steamed duck breasts. I've done them all in the Thermomix Varoma. Absolutely beautiful tenderness. So all we do now is take the measuring cup off the top of the Thermomix, set that to one side, and instead put the Varoma on top. And it's already starting to aim up to Varoma temperature. And here's the Varoma tray, it's going in. And we're just going to put the green beans in. Sprinkle them in. They've been rinsed, so they have a nice sheen of water on them. And that's going to help them steam beautifully. Once you have the Varoma on top, turn it up to speed 3 or even speed 4, and that'll finish cooking beautifully. And here it is, it's ready. So we just lift off the top there. And now that lid becomes a trivet for the Thermomix. And I'm just going to serve some beans onto our plate. Onto the plate. And I'll show you what is in our Varoma dish here. We've got the salmon all cooked and beautifully done with its lovely topping of Tikka paste. So I'm just going to lift out one of these pieces here and serve it onto the plate. And I'll just set this to one side. Of course, this is dinner for 4 actually. And when you take the lid off the Thermomix, you've got your beautiful rice all steamed and ready to go. Just loosen it up a little bit. and serve directly onto the plate. A little bit of tikka color in it, that adds to the flavor and deliciousness. And there we are. Salmon tikka with green beans and rice cooked effortlessly in the Thermomix all at the same time.